Welcome to the DGD podcast. Robert Reynolds, Keon. Guys, Georgia played football Saturday. It feels good knowing that Georgia football's back. But I gotta start the show off with some things that I'm not necessarily the fondest of and I'm not happy about. And that is the fan overreaction to Carson Beck in the offense. Listen.
Oh my God.
Man, I'm telling you. If we're hearing regression and we're hearing boos and shit like this, and we went for 560 yards of total offense and put up 41 offensive points, by the way. If people were pissed off about Bobo for that, I think we're in good hands.
Honestly.
Just leaving that there. Just leaving that there.
Honestly, I just think too many people within the fan base are overreacting. Because it's like, oh, well, we didn't shut him out. Oh, well, we didn't put up 100 points. Guys, we got 48.
Listen, you're not going to pull Oregon and pull 81 points, which was insane. But at the same time, we're going to talk more about this later, right? With that being said, let's start off on a good note here. Keon, first things first, 48-7, Georgia wins. For what it's worth, right? I thought it was a good performance from overall. Got to see a lot of things. What were your takeaways from Saturday, from our game?
I just think it was good to see some of the young guys get some burn. I've been calling Roderick Robinson a man-child this whole off season, and then to finally see him out there, it's like, wow, you are really way much bigger than what we thought. So that was good. It was good to see, Milton out there getting some burn as well. Defense, we're gonna be smothering. Shout outs to Big Ja making a play. He yet again trying to clog up the main lane.
Big Ja.
But shout outs to him, man. But overall, it was a good performance. I mean, what are people expecting? We have the easiest schedule in Power 5, damn near.
Like, you know what? Hear me out.
Yeah.
Our fan base, this portion of the fan base that we're talking about right now, if you can envision the Mamba Mentality commercials, do you remember those back in the day? Kanye West, what can I do? Yeah. I've broken records. More records.
I've done everything you wanted. But are you the same animal in a different beast?
What the fuck, Kobe Bryant?
Like what? Like I'm just confused as to what people are expecting. Y'all wanted us to go out there and put up 100 points. We got close enough. We got 48. Okay, Um,
We need to show our entire playbook. We need to go and drop dogs by 150.
in the comment section of every preview game.
I mean,
Dogs by 90 is what we need to.
keep in mind, folks. Hear me out. So we're gonna get started on this, right? You have to take a look at the grand scheme of things, right? Not for what it's worth, the offense struggled. They say struggled, but like the offense wasn't clicking in the first half. Second half, shit changed. But if you look at it, Carson Beck was doing all the right things. I think the one questionable pass to me was the dropped third down slant to Dominic.
Yeah.
That one he threw behind him, that should have been an easy catch because that's probably a touchdown.
Hmm.
But other than that, I think I needed to see what I saw, and I saw it. And I think that's him moving up in the pocket when needed. You saw him go through his progressions, go through his reads, hit the passes. Yeah, there was one where he had a slight hesitation with a linebacker dropping out, and it was a 4-man rush instead of 5 as expected. And he threw the ball. The other thing you could have done at that point was throw it out of bounds. It looked like a near pick. The DB made a damn good play, but overall, I was excited to see it. I mean, he looked good for what it's worth for sure. Um, just first start, man. Like, people can say he's been here for 4 years, all this and that. It's still he hasn't played a significant snap until Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think people got to keep in mind with Carson Beck all of what is really weighed on him. You just sat on the bench. You've been here for 4 years. You sat on the bench for the last two. Last two, the previous quarterback just went back to back. Now you're coming in. Of course, there is a lot of pressure on this kid, and I get that. I understand it. But what I'm saying is this: people were expecting, like, I don't know what, like, honestly, because at the end of the day, I knew the kid was going to be nervous. We'd have
Who wouldn't
back to
be?
back.
I don't care what
Listen,
opponent you're playing. It's your first career game. You're starting that. There's always going to be nerves there. Fuck, there's always going to be nerves when you get on the field anyway. At times,
I mean, you're the back-to-back defending national champions. Can we just give the kid a couple of games? I mean, honestly, we play Ball State next week, but after that, we have South Carolina. Can we at least reserve judgment on the a harsh judgment on the kid until South Carolina? Same thing. UT came into the game with a great game plan. We're just gonna drain the clock. If that means we got to take delay of games, fine. If that means we got to continue to get pushed back on third downs, fine. But they were willing to do that to help keep the ball out of our hands. It was a good game plan. Plus, we're starting a guy who's never played, who's never started. He's
he's
never
he's
started
he's
for
pl-
us.
he's played, but again, it was one of those
He's
things where
it's never he came into the game and started.
yeah. I mean, so again, I think, and to what I think, what I saw defensively at first, I think when you first saw the defense on the field, there was some over aggression and some over
Hmm.
pursuit. Um, you know, I think I'm gonna get the kind of the news out first. There's really not a lot of bad news about our defense. Just not. I would say that I'm kind of curious to see how we handle edge play, right? Setting the edge. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but Chad Shambliss came in and bull rushed in, and the quarterback just pulled it and ran right where he was at. And it's just like, was that by design, or should he be setting the edge a little bit more? So there is that. Also, because it is Monday night, there is the Clemson Duke game on. So for anybody that is curious, as we're watching and you're watching us, Duke is up 13-7, and a
Wait,
field.
what the hell?
Yeah, Duke's up 13-7, and Clemson just missed a field goal to put it to 7 or 13-10. So it's actually 13-7. They missed a field goal. So Duke has the ball now.
Uh, I will say this, and yet again, overreaction Monday, Monday afternoon quarterbacking, however you want to call it, to be in a dogfight with a college basketball powerhouse, hmm, doesn't necessarily bode well for your season, especially after you got Florida State beating LSU.
Been
Just
trying
gonna
to tell,
put that there.
been trying to tell people, man, Duke's on a different level. Compared, this ain't your Cutcliffe Duke by any means. But enough about that. We're going to talk Georgia football. I think there's some interesting stats here. Like I said, Carson Beck goes 21 for 31. That's 68%, 294 yards, average of 9.5 yards per attempt, with one touchdown, no picks, but also a rushing touchdown as well. Brock Vandegrift, 2 for 3, 77 yards with a tutty. Had that nice looking drive. Gunnar Stockton comes in as well. Kind of a situation where receivers, we didn't get a 100-yard receiver, didn't get close to a 100-yard rusher. Somewhat balanced for what it's worth. A lot of, I guess you could say, a lot of different things happened, right? Lad McConkey, Marcus Rosemary, Jack Saint, both not playing. Um,
Hmm.
so you're looking at some situations where, you know, how can I explain it? It's almost like chaos, right? With our schedule, you there's really no fear for what it's worth, especially on these guys coming back to back, right? You have to kind of create this situation, right? So when you look at it, I'm just sitting here looking at it in a sense where you don't have two receivers, so you kind of have to see like Mehki Mews and all these other guys, right? CJ Smith, all this, whatever.
Shout outs to Mehki Mews. Let's just stop real quick. Shout outs to my boy Mehki Mews. You know, the 5'8" king going out there and scoring touchdowns and things. Shout outs to my guy Mehki.
I will say this though, when there's a lot of rotation, especially on the defensive side of the ball, right? I don't necessarily. I think we got a couple of sacks, but that's about it. Um, excuse me. But I think at the same time, right? Like overall, you have several receivers getting a reception. You know what I mean? I think you had 10 guys get your reception, 10 or 11 receivers
Hmm.
get at least one reception, and that's without two being out. But no, so we've talked about this right here, but let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's start our report cards, right? But I want to jump into this first, our first sponsor of the night, and that's Apotheos, folks. Started my Monday off right, getting some Apotheos coffee in my system, right? Scan the QR code if you're watching, or if you're listening, go to dgdpodcast.com. Check the shop drop down menu, click Apotheos. It'll take you to their site. 20% of every single bag of coffee or K cups that you purchase will go to the Classic City Collective. Supporting
Classic
it,
City Collective. Shout
su-
outs to them.
supporting the dogs, you supporting a damn good company. It's quite literally the coffee of champions. If give them a shout on Instagram or Twitter/X at Apotheos Roastery on Instagram or Apotheos Coffee on Twitter/X. Make sure to go give them a follow. Let them know DGD Podcast sent you. And again, use our link and get you some damn good coffee. It's just simple as that, folks.
Hell yeah, baby.
It's
I
simple as
need that
that.
cold brew. I need that cold brew. I can't
Mm,
live without it.
mm,
Can't live without it.
mm-mm.
Apotheos coffee.
All
Good
right,
stuff.
now we jump to the report cards. So obviously Georgia wins 48-7 convincingly,
Hmm.
right? For what it's worth. Um, let's start with the quarterbacks, man. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Keon, do I need to read off any stats or anything like that for you just to help you get a grade on the report card? Or if you don't, what would you grade
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Go ahead and read off some of the stats for me, if you can.
All right, let me see here. So, like I said, Carson Beck. Carson Beck, 21 for 31, 294
Hmm.
yards passing, and a tutty, right? Passing touchdown. But also three rushes for 12 yards and a rushing touchdown. Brock Vandegrift, 2 for 3, 77 yards, touchdown. And then Gunnar Stockton, 3 for 5, 29 yards. Also, two rushes for 18 yards.
I mean, honestly, for Carson, or so you're talking about individually for the
No,
quarterbacks?
as a position, overall position group. What would you? We're doing position report cards. So, how would you rate the quarterback play Saturday?
I mean, I give it overall, I'd say about an A minus. I mean, I'm not necessarily worried about it too much. Everybody that you had go out there pretty much had a positive average based off of what you were talking about from the completion. Uh, Yeah, I mean, to have Carson to go out there in his first game, he's putting up 294 through the air. Not really, not really much you could really say about that. But yet again, I'm not one of those that's freaking out. I'm not one of those that's overreacting.
No, I think I'm gonna give it a I'm gonna give it an A minus as well. I think the room for improvement would be Carson Beck in the beginning, right? Um, and what I mean by that is just completing the throws, right? There was a couple that were on him. There were some drops, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, there was a deep shot early to I think it was Arian Smith that went off the mark. I'm not going to necessarily ding him for a long ball, right? They're hard to gauge, but that like I said that pass to Dominic Lovett where he just threw it right behind him in the end zone. I don't know if you remember where he overthrew Arian Smith or threw it
Hmm.
behind him and over, things like that, right? But again, for a first start, an A minus is absolutely acceptable. And that's not even I haven't even mentioned Brock's drive, right? Brock's touchdown drive. It's a thing of beauty, right? Long ball to Rara, then followed up with a pass to Oscar Delp. Now the thing about the Oscar Delp pass is it could have been more accurate. It was a little bit low behind him, but that's just Oscar Delp being a dude. That's just my thoughts on it. Like it's just a dude. Made him look good, scored a tutty, and go from there. Gunnar Stockton, my guy, we got to teach you to slide. Because bully
Yeah,
ball,
no,
what you did, what you listen. I understand that you can get away with this bully ball stuff at Raven County, but I'm just looking out for your safety because when it comes to SEC ball and you try doing that, it might not work out as great. Not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying I'm looking out for you.
100%. Because we saw some quarterbacks this weekend that need to know how to slide. Looking directly at you, Graham Mertz. Jesus.
Or
Jesus.
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Oh, well, we got to save that for the next one, man. We really do. But Jesus. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
you got to save that here. No, I mean overall, man, I think A minus is a solid grade. I really do. There was a lot of bright spots, especially from the back, the second and third, right? Brock and Gunner,
Hmm.
Carson Beck, got in that first drive after the half. Still had some struggles. Listen, I think another thing too, Carson Beck is a rhythm quarterback, and that game there was no sense of rhythm, and I think some of it was due to UT Martin as well. Um, I'm not going to speculate, but there were a lot of injuries and people going down on UT Martin's side. Just going to leave that there. I'm not going to speak on that any further. You take it how you will. But when those things happen like that, it does kind of slow you down because there were times where Carson Beck looked like he started getting into a rhythm, guy goes down, and then it just forces you to restart. It's literally like starting your car, trying to start it up, it cranks, and then it stops, and you got to redo it all over again, right? It's hard to get back shit going back it right the way you need it to sometimes. So it was never
Hmm.
a sense of rhythm. It wasn't necessarily one of the more fun games to watch because again, I think this offense should really benefit with a tempo offense. Right, if they run tempo, they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
And Carson, when he gets into a rhythm, I think he just looks a lot better. What I saw at G Day, got into a rhythm early. My man lit it the fuck up. So I'd like to believe that moving forward, if he gets into a rhythm, which allows us to go tempo, Mike Bobo, please listen. We'll have to ask Juan to make sure he understands and listens to what we're saying. Just
Hmm.
gonna leave that there. But I just think that if you go tempo and get into a rhythm, this offense is unstoppable.
I mean, honestly,
It
especially
just
when it
is.
comes to creating plays in space, I mean, we do have a very talented wide receiving core coming into this season that I think it's going to really help set us up to make plays downfield or go vertical, as some fan bases would say.
Yeah.
Also,
Running backs, man. I'm gonna give my running back room. I'm gonna give it a C plus. And the reason
honestly,
I say that is it's just a banged up group, right? It's just a
honestly,
banged up group. Um, I mean, you had Roderick Robinson, you had Cash Jones, Kendall Milton, not even fully healthy, was
yeah,
running. So I mean, I think Kendall Milton was the highest rusher, and I think he had 9 totes for 53 yards. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So your leading rusher had 53 yards. That's obviously room for improvement. Again, I understand this room is banged up right now. You lost Branson for the season. Kendall's not
Hmm.
fully healthy. He's not 100%, right? Dejon Edwards sat out, just not fully healthy, right? This running back room's got it's going to get healthier. And then I think as you see Roderick Robinson getting more touches and more comfortable, it's going to get interesting. I just think so. But I've got to go C plus. What would you give him?
I would honestly say I would say a C. I mean, yet again, our running back room is insanely banged up. I do think when it comes time for us to play South Carolina, we're going to be a far more healthier running back room. It was good to see Milton come out there, but yet again, he's not fully healthy, like you mentioned. Roderick Robinson, like I spoke on earlier, Andrew Paul, Cash Jones, but Andrew Paul was very interesting for me to see him back in the fold.
He looked fairly. You could tell it's been a long time since he's ran the ball in a real game.
Yeah,
But I think it'll
yeah.
get better. It would definitely get better as time goes on
I
for
just
sure.
think that that is honestly more of like a motion thing. Like once he gets himself more into a motion of getting back out there, I think it's going to be good. Cash Jones, there were some things that I saw that I liked from all of the guys. There was things that I saw that I didn't like, but also keeping in mind that we are a very much so damaged running back room. Cash Jones, I need you to understand where the first down marker is, my guy. If once they fake the handoff inside, I see you cut up the A gap of the center trying to cut through the seam there. You take three steps, turn around and beg for the ball. Like you got to understand if it's a second and five, third and five, you got to get behind that first down marker. But
I think that will come with experience as well, right? I
100%.
mean,
That's why I'm not freaking out about it.
yeah,
Like
that'll definitely come in with time for sure. I mean, overall, again, the average grade is because there's no way to go above and beyond here, right? You're looking at a banged up running back room that statistically didn't do all that much, and we'll talk a little bit more about the offensive line. I see Seed Vision's talking about some stuff. We'll get there, um, but yeah, receivers. Keon, I'll let you start on your first grade here. How would you rate the receivers for Saturday's game?
honestly, I'd say you B plus, B plus. I mean, yet again, Dominic, I'm watching Carson step back. I'm watching some guys step back and just drop it right there in the breadbasket for you. You got to pull it away from it. I understand first. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really freaking out about it all. It was just a timing thing. But as the game went on, you saw that the connection got better from our wide receiving core to the quarterbacks. Did see that impressive pass that we were able to see from Ra Thomas catching it down the seam. Honestly, I thought it was a great catch from. But overall, I'll say a B plus. I mean, yet again, people were not overreaction. Monday overreaction. Okay, but understand it's the first game. Some of these guys have never played here before. Some of these guys have never started here before. So we just got to give them some time, honestly. And with our schedule, I think it permits it. I mean, we don't begin to get into our conference play until week 3. Next week we have Ball State. Do you know where Ball State is? I don't.
Duke just recovered a fumble in the red zone. 1st and 10, Duke's ball at their own 10. Still
Is
up,
this the
still up 13-7, by the way.
third quarter?
5:17 left in the third quarter.
Jeez. And then I'm telling you, that's another thing. We got to man.
I
Y'all got to
see.
really
Hold on. I see
y'all got to
Israel.
tune in for the podcast on Wednesday. Y'all have
Israel
to.
Israel is giving us live updates with scores. So
Appreciate
we'll start using that. We'll focus more on our show. Um,
100%.
listen, college football's back, baby. That's what we do. All right, so
100%.
bear with us. I'm gonna go B here, solid B. And the reason why I
Uh-huh.
say that is the receivers did at times drop passes too. Not like
Mhm.
it's difficult because there's certain situations like we don't know, right? Carson, like that Carson Beck to Arian Smith, that deep shot, first deep shot. If it's hard for me to critique anybody, right? Because you don't know if Aaron messed up with taking any kind of step or just off the situation. I don't know, but I think when you look at it right here, I think there's some to be desired. Right? Again, if you had like McConkey back and Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint back, I think this thing could be completely different. I'm gonna give it a solid B, and I think the reason being is you didn't really have a lot of these. Like we had explosive plays, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
have what I think you had 10 explosive plays. Like, but what I mean by that is 20 or more yards. So it's not the lack of execution in regards to explosive plays. It's just not flashy. I'm not worried about that. But I think when you look at the situation, there were some that kind of had a drop. I think Lovett experienced one in the back of the end zone, wide open touchdown, gets drops. Now I don't know if the DB got a hand on it. Looked like there may have been a hand there, but I'm not necessarily sure. It looked like there may have been, but it hit his hands. It dropped it wide open touchdown. So I think there's some room left to be desired. I'm not bashing, but when you have Mr. Mehki Mews come in and take a screen, 54 yards for the tutty. Also watching the perimeter blocking, right? Because Marcus Rosemary-Jack Saint's typically known for typically known for that, right? Typically your outside blocker. Didn't have him. So the perimeter blocking opened up these screen games, right? Get some good plays out there. So I have to be happy with the perimeter blocking in game one. So I have a B. But also now we move to tight ends. And I'm giving this a solid A.
100%. I mean, Brock Bowers is just out here letting y'all know that he is not playing with anybody. I mean, we were seeing things of him being in Heisman consideration, and he's not taking any of this lightly. Um, shout outs to Brock Bowers, Oscar Delp. See you out here catching plays, my boy. Hell yeah.
Catching tutties.
Love it. Love it. Need more of it.
Yeah, I think Pierce Berlin got in toward the end as well. I don't know if necessarily. I don't think he got a catch or anything, but I do think. I mean, like from a tight end perspective, you're looking at Brock Bowers five receptions for 77 yards, and he also had a 3-yard rush for a touchdown. And then obviously Oscar Delp 2 for 24 with a touchdown. So yeah, but also I say an A. I might have to go A minus. And the only reason I'm putting an A minus is because Brock Bowers lost a fumble. That's the only thing it is. That's the only thing I'm talking about.
Hey man. Best player on the team. Let's say something negative about him. I don't like the color of his socks.
I mean, listen. I think obviously, listen. He provided that spark on offense,
100%,
right? But at the same time, I don't care if you're the best player in the country or you're a walk on. It doesn't matter if you don't have the ball in your hands and you don't protect the football.
That is a fact.
At the end of the day, you have to protect the football. Now, listen, I'm not mad about it. Brock Bowers, you've done too much. 77 yards. You listen. This time Monday next week, we probably sitting here with Juan because Juan's about to be a number 11 in the all-time career receiving yards. Hopefully, Juan can stay there for another week. I'm not buying it because I think Brock Bowers about to ball the fuck out.
Yeah, I think so too.
Sorry,
I got
Juan.
him on my fan. Yeah, man.
Here.
Yeah, most definitely. Shout outs to Juan, man. But yeah, no, he's gonna ball out. I got him on my fantasy team, so I need him to ball out.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. I mean, for what it's worth though, man, like the tight ends, had some good plays, right? I liked the athleticism that we saw with Oscar Delp. I think you look at the tight end blocking, right? Oscar Delp looked the part. Some plays where he kind of like, how can I explain it? It looks like he overran, a backer or whatever. But I think he got washed down a little bit and forced his route off, and it messed things up. But yeah, I think it was overall a really good performance. A lot to grow on too. Potential there. Jeff's letting us know that Clemson's missed 3 field goals and fumbled at the 5. Holy cow!
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, ooh.
Yikers! Game 1, guys. Welcome to week 1, first game. Offensive line. This is where we have this expectation on this offensive line, right? outside, I mean, you have Ernest Green coming off of the back injury, getting to start at left tackle,
Yeah,
basically like playing a freshman at left tackle, if you will.
100%.
Other than that, though, the other four guys, seasoned vets, but they're left a lot to be desired in the first half. And for me, I'm going C minus. I think the second half everything started smoother. It got smoother. We were moving the piles more. But that first half just hurts,
Yeah.
especially when you look at the expectations of that offensive line. Right, there were plays where we were just getting beat, right? No movement on combo blocks, things like this. It's just not no movement, and that's just not normal.
Us.
Not
Yeah,
us.
it's
Definitely
yeah,
not us.
it's not us. Uh I would honestly give it a C as well. Um Yet again, new situation. I'm just not trying to overreact, but overall when I look back at it, there were different points where you're seeing guys not necessarily get to their blocks in time to help set up those rushing lanes. Now you got running backs who are coming in, some of which are coming back from injury, expecting a hole to be here, and it's not there. So now they're having it's like having a course correct. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't the best performance. I'll say that for
Yeah,
sure.
I think C minus and C sounds fair. Um, before we wrap the offensive side of this piece up, what would you give the overall offense report card? The team offense report card. Do you have any?
Uh, on the offense, I give them a solid B.
I was where I was going with it.
Honestly, a solid B. So here's the thing. It's not enough for me to say, "Oh wow, we're phenomenal. We're about to beat everybody by 90." But it wasn't bad enough for us to look into the camera and be like, "Oh shit, we
Like we've
suck."
got some problems.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it this way. I'm curious to see if this is true or not.
Hmm.
I hope we've matured enough to not play down to competition like we thought there were at times.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you look at how we started the game or the game last year with Oregon, right, came out on a different level, executing everything, right, like it was perfect.
Aggression.
But at the same time, right, that's Stetson Bennett's second year start and all that stuff. So I'm not necessarily upset when you've got a situation with a first time starter, right? Still throwing for near 300 yards. Guys, you want to complain about Carson Beck and the offense struggling to start. Guess what? He still threw for more than Joe Milton and Jalen Milroe. Guys, it could be worse.
It
Could
could
be
be.
worse. You want to know why? You could be Ohio State and just still not throw a touchdown pass.
Hey man.
KTG over here saying all else. I know he trolling. I know. It's because he ain't got Stetson to sit there and cheer for. He's got to go to the Rams now.
No.
Simple enough. It's okay. I understand. Thank you for your honest feedback. Anyways, let's move over to the defense. Let's start D line. D line. What'd you see, man? How'd you feel?
I'm gonna say I saw a good B plus. I don't think it was like our most aggressive standpoint. I'm gonna just honestly go with B plus. I mean, I we were rotating guys in. We only got one sack on the game, which if we really are out here trying to find guys within our lineup that can help set that edge for us. When but for me, I'm gonna go with a B plus. I'm gonna go with a B.
I think B plus is fair too. Oh, KTG just aggravated. Okay, fair enough, I suppose.
No, I get it. I mean, I get it. Like if you came into this thinking that, you know what, we're going to be hitting people in the face by 100 points, I understand the frustration. But I'm here to let you know that's not how it's going to go. Okay? We're going to softball our way into this. Like I will cuz it's not going to be 100 miles per hour from jump, especially when we don't really even play an SEC opponent until week 3. Why go all out?
Well, I do think. I mean, for what it's worth, right? Offensively, You didn't have a crazy game plan, but even then,
Mm,
Todd Monken didn't even do that shit against like your Kent States and stuff. Kind of kept it vanilla, right? Like
100%.
for what it's worth, too, I think there were some wrinkles there that Bobo had. You could see some Bobo esque touches there. The truck sweep, oh, it's a beautiful thing. Getting Kendall Milton out, or no, Rod. It was Rod getting out
Mm-hmm.
there. Kind of made me feel like it was a under center, but I wish it was. It wasn't. I love me some under center toss sweep. Just bring it back. Carson Beck is a pro style guy. Let him do it, please. Let him do it.
Honestly.
Get Deshaun Edwards out. Ooh wee. That's exciting right there. Just gonna leave that there. But no, for what it's worth, listen. First start, get the jitters out. You're focused. Listen. I'm happy with his performance. He like I said, he managed the offense. Didn't turn the ball over. Right. Didn't make that kind of mistake. That's key. Right. First start.
Mm-hmm.
Still, like I said, been saying this all off season. I'm still waiting to see that first bit of adversity and how he responds to it.
Mm-hmm.
I trust his vision. I trust his command of the offense. I'm not worried about Carson Beck, and neither should you. At least not yet.
Plain
Uh,
and simple.
yeah, moving to the defensive line again. Um, I'm gonna go B plus as well. I'm going
Mm-hmm.
B plus as well. I think we saw flashes of dominance, and what I mean by that, when you have, I'm trying to remember the exact play, but you had Mike Hill, Jalen Walker, Jordan Hall, Gabe Harris,
Mm-hmm.
and someone else. Shit, I don't remember. But either way, if you remember, those guys got to the ball with a fucking fury. Got there with a purpose. They moved. They got there quick. To me, when you see that right there, the speed is just downright fucking nasty, right? So we're grouping edge and D line interior. So keep that in mind as well, Keon. Um, Again, though, it's just you didn't have a lot of guys giving up right their gap assignments, right? Like small things that could make big plays happen from from their offense. So you didn't see that. Again, I did think maybe the B plus comes from some of the edge containing, right? I think he can get better. I think Marvin Jones Jr. is going to kind of be a kind of nice addition there, if you will. And as I read this, Clemson just fumbled
Timeout.
on T
Clemson
Mart's
fumbled on the
T.
1 yard line.
God, boy, something in
I'm
that Durham,
sorry. I'm sorry, but that's Clemson is really
something
bad
in that Durham
teams.
air, man. Something in that Durham air tonight must be boy, someone making some turnovers for real. Because Duke's fumbled twice, I think, too, or muffed a field goal, or no, muffed a punt and fumbled the ball. So, return 70 yards the other way. Oh shit. Okay, sorry. Um, Sorry guys. We have kind of like live breaking news, if you will. Didn't make a
Whoa.
graphic for that, but that's kind of important because that leads us to our segment down the road at the end of the show. So
Yeah, it
keep that in
does.
mind. Keep that in mind. But Keon, give me your experiences and your observation on the D line.
I mean, yet again, not too many guys really blowing their assignments. Yet again, big shout outs to Big Jaw for making plays. Talk,
Got his first tackle, man. It was fun to watch that, man. Really was.
hell yeah, shout outs to Big Jaw, man. I'm really excited for him. Uh, but overall, not too many. I didn't see enough things for me to be completely discomforted with what our defense did, our defensive line did. I'm not, yet again, we played a lot of guys, some of which redshirt freshmen. Can't really overreact, you guys. I mean, can't
Like
really
I don't know if you
overreact.
remember. Did you? So that sequence, man. There was some true freshmen got in and got some run early, and like Jordan
Yeah,
Hall, Jordan
yeah.
Hall was getting in there and getting some run early, and that speaks volumes. Um, Making plays too, right? I think you look at Gabe Harris got in on a sack, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Helping Mike Hill on a situation there. So,
Mm-hmm.
and Christian Miller, hold on, Christian Miller had a good game too.
100%.
So
a
this
hundred
is
percent.
like we talked about this depth all through summer camp, all through into the fall. It's going to pay dividends, right? Because you're able to rotate, keep guys fresh, and you still have the ability to push and disrupt the pocket. Now, the thing about it is you have UT Martin's quarterback able to scramble, right? Again, it stems back to the situation. We got to be able to set the edge. Nolan Smith was excellent at this. Be able to sacrifice the pass rush to set the edge and not let shit pass. That's
Yeah.
something that these guys have got to learn, and I think it'll come with experience and game reps, right? You look at Marvin Jones Jr., you look at Chaz Chambliss. These guys have got it squared away, and I trust this defensive line, Trey Scott, to get that situated. I just do, and Uzo will do the same thing. Simple as that. Moving to the linebackers, Keon. I'm gonna give it to the linebackers solid A minus. Flying around, right? Xavier Story, I thought did really well. You had Smallmond actually make actually play, right? So that tells me I think you see him get situated in a sense where he'll be able to be available right sooner than we expected. It's always a good thing. But Xavier Story did the right things. He didn't make key mistakes that cost the team, right? And then you have CJ Allen coming in and getting a lot of run early and often too. And that is something that you should know.
Yes.
That is something you should know.
I mean, between Rice, Dean, now you got Allen. You got a lot of guys here that are going to be in the fold, which is exactly why I say it's great to, yet again, when you have that depth, you're able to make different moves. You're able to plug and play guys. And that's one of the biggest things, even when it comes to recruiting, that I believe Georgia even uses is like, hey, look, if you come here, you can compete to play and be able to get into the game. Uh, Yet again, during the early parts of the season, it's good to run your depth because you don't know how the season is going to play out for you. Your Mike linebacker could end up being out, could be out for like 4 or 5 weeks. You don't want to have yourself in a situation where you're not getting guys reps and they get out there and they're food. So getting into the swing of the season, starting out week one, you're giving guys more reps. You're giving them opportunity to familiarize themselves with the playbook and to understand where they need to be on field or on the field because it's different for you to just run that through practice. That game time speed, that game time, because you can audible out of plays and so many different things as well in the game time, and it's going to be able to give you a real indicator of how your season could end up going by playing your young guys and giving them a chance to get in there. So I think it's good to really exercise your depth and really give the young guys some burn.
Yeah, no, I mean, I genuinely think that we're going to be a okay. Even if even when Monday comes back, things will be a completely different feel to it as well. But Xavier Story, man, I think as he gets those reps, he's going to find a way to stay on the field. And then you look at guys like Jalen Walker as well, getting in there and creating havoc. Coming off the edge and everything like that as well. They're all these guys are developing, and
100%.
seeing that against a different team, I think is comforting, right? To know that they're getting developed. Obviously, we know that they go against our offense, but when you go against someone else and you still develop and you make plays, that's key for me. Looking at DBs, man. I'm going. Oh God, I think I'm going A plus.
Yeah, I am.
And well, you got Kyron Jones. Shout out Charlotte. Shout out to the Charlotte man. True freshman.
Hmm.
Pick six right at the end of the
Yeah.
game, get us to 48. But I think another thing, and Duke just scored, so it's 19-7, waiting a field goal.
What quarter is it?
Fourth with 10:42 left.
Sheesh.
Guys, as I get back to my, actually, I'm going to take a quick second here. There's a term called Clemsoning, and it might be coming back. Shh, we'll see. Don't get your hopes up, though. But anyways, no, Kyron Jones, pick six. Beautiful thing to see, too. Just the way he got it, right? Kirby actually, it was funny to hear Kirby say it was a luck. So 21-7, by the way, they went for two and got it.
Jeez.
I feel like a fucking moron because I made a hot take. If you don't remember this, I made a hot take. and it was I think Duke could beat them and go to
Yeah,
the ACC title. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to feel about this. This is oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, we were all wrong on that. I can't. Wednesday is going to be such a crazy show. To everybody that's tuning in and watching this, you got to watch us live Wednesday. I promise you, you're not going to want to miss it because I got a lot to say.
Now, I mean,
Oh,
well, I mean, we still doing our segment at the end. We're speaking
oh
of
yeah.
what's your grade? That way we can get to this. What do you think?
Honestly, I'll go with A plus as well. Saw a couple of guys out there make some plays. Little bit of a that I saw from Everett, but outside of that, I mean, God, once we really get into conference play, man, I can't wait. What next week? Next week, I can't wait. Ball State.
Well, I'll just leave it there. I'm gonna give it like we both said A plus. Safety trio: Starks, Bullard, Tyke Smith, right there. That earned you A plus. They played their fucking ass off, and it was beautiful.
Hundred
Just gonna leave that
percent.
there. Just gonna leave that there. Special teams. A
Yeah,
had
as
to punt.
expected.
Had to punt more than expected, but didn't have a bad punt. So I'd give it an A. Right? Give it
Yeah.
an A. Major field goals. Speaking of, I wish Kobe was here. I made him a shot. Woodring
Mm-hmm.
got Woodring got the kicks. So
Mm-hmm.
Kobe was here. Man, oh man. I'll save it for Wednesday.
Yeah,
Um,
you're gonna have to save
got,
that one. Also, shout outs to Woodring, also on my fantasy team.
look at you
Appreciate you.
going ahead and
Appreciate you.
taking a shot. I like it. You
Yeah,
too like to live dangerously.
just a
Um,
little bit.
all right. With that being said, let's go game balls, man. Game balls. Who are you giving your game ball to? You get two. You get two game balls.
On the defense, I'm gonna have to give it to Jones, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, that walk off touchdown, great way to close it out there. Offensively, honestly, I might have to go back. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, I think he did everything that we needed in a sense to kind of keep the game at bay. Then we started switching out guys, but I'd either say either Beck or yeah, no, I'm going Brock. I'm sorry, I gotta go Brock.
You going Brock Bowers over Beck?
Yeah,
Okay, so you got Brock and Kyron Jones.
yeah,
All right, I'll go Beck. I think it's easy to understand. First win as a starter, almost 300 yards. Right, protected the ball, made good plays, stepped up in the pocket, showed the wiggle that we've been talking about, folks.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I just think that's deserving of a game ball there on offense. Defense, I'm going Malachi Starks. My man showed me some things. We knew he was a good ball hawk, but his run support was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down flat, like flying down, making plays in a backfield. Now, again, either one of those three safeties, right? Javon or Malachi or Tyke could deserve it too. But I'm just going with Malachi because Malachi was all over the field. And I mean, just
100%.
and I'm not knocking any of those guys because you could give three if you really wanted to. Those dudes played
Honestly,
their ass off. But I got to go there. So yeah, there's our game balls, folks. Keon, we got our second sponsor, Alumni Hall. Listen, guys, you've got an hour to go to our website, dgdpodcast.com. Go to shop, go to Alumni Hall, click that drop down, right? You have an hour, 20% off until midnight tonight. It's September 4th for Labor Day. Happy Labor Day, by the way. Use code Labor Day 23. Sorry for those that are listening because this won't be out in time. But for those watching, dgpodcast.com or scan the QR code, shop the drop down, right? Click it, go get you some stuff for 20% off. Okay, do that there. Alumni Hall, all your license gear, accessories, all of it. Get ready for game day. Every single Saturday, they're there in Athens, Georgia, getting you ready. And every day in between, if you can get them in store, great. If not, just go to our website, folks. Just go to our website, shop their website, get you some stuff, and go from there. Listen, all this you see me, I deck out in Georgia all the time, and most all of it comes from that Alumni Hall. Just gonna leave it there.
yeah, I got to get those shoes, man. I got to get those shoes from an
Oh,
Alumni Hall next go around. Next go
yeah.
around, because I know those is already sold out.
If you didn't see the new Air Maxes that came out, those things at Alumni Hall sold out in 30 minutes.
Yeah, shout
Yeah.
outs to Alumni Hall.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Insane. Um, so yeah, Keon, this is our first chance to introduce our new segment. Now, keep in mind, we still have the one game going on right now. So we're not reviewing our picks tonight. We'll do that Wednesday. But we are able to take and introduce this new segment, and go ahead and let them know what it is.
Your team is trash, and you have to deal with that.
My oh my. Keon, I gotta let you get this off your chest. It's been brewing since Thursday night, which gives it away. But I'm gonna give you the mic. I'm just gonna let you get it off your chest. Let us know your selection for your team is trash.
The University of Florida, for multiple reasons, but we're going to start with the simple fact: why in heaven or hell does Graham Mertz have the number 15? We're going to put that one to the side. Buddy is home run sliding into contact and is getting baptized at contact. I'm st- one good takeaway I can take away from that game, honestly, outside of everything Utah did, is Graham Mertz is tough. That's it. So the Florida Gators, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Oh my God, I can't wait till Wednesday. Y'all better be here for this. I'm telling you, y'all better be here. I got a lot of shit to get off my chest. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man. So for my selection, your team is trash and you have to deal with that, folks. There's a certain team that we play in week 3, and that team is the South Carolina Gamecocks. South Carolina, your team is trash and you have to deal with that. Let me explain. The North Carolina Tar Heels sacked your quarterback 9 times. 9. That's one less than 10. See? 10, 1 is 9, right? For those that can't do math, need visual math. That's fair. That's a huge problem because, listen, going into this, I knew the offensive line was going to be a problem. I did. I thought running back was going to be another problem. But running backs don't have a problem if that offensive line of yours is such a glaring problem, right? Again, I think you had a chance to go in and try to get some guys from the portal, sort of proven, right? Some proven offensive linemen, some running backs. You didn't do that. And it cost you in week 1. I still feel like you're going to make a bowl game, but you better fix that shit right the fuck now. Because if you don't, in 2 weeks, you come to Athens where the big dogs play and the big dogs eat because it's our yard. Listen. If I'm Georgia right now, I'm challenging every single Georgia player that might catch this, guys. There's no way that you let North Carolina beat you in a sack count. I understand the quarterbacks get the ball out of their hands quick, so I'll give you that benefit of a doubt. But that means the secondary better step up because you can. I know you're good at it. I trust the secondary, guys. There's no reason for me to believe that our defensive line and our defense in general is going to wreck shit in 2 weeks. It better. It better. Because if, again, call me overreacting, fine. Offensive line problems like that don't get fixed in 1 week, don't get fixed in a season. It could,
Yeah,
Spencer Rattler, you can scramble. I know it. You're going to be doing a lot of it.
I don't see him getting away from Janelle Aguero coming off the edge. I just don't see it. It's gonna be madness and Mayday. Whole lot of mayhem and
Keon,
adjectives.
we'll give you the opportunity to name another team. Oh, hold on. By the way, let me finish up. South Carolina, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Do you have any other selections, sir?
Every single team I picked out of the SEC this week, besides us and like Tennessee, all of them disappointed me. LSU, what in the hell was that? So first play, you go from your side of the field to you go from your red zone to their red zone. You don't walk away with any points. You didn't put up any points in the second half virtually. I look, you said South Carolina, I said Florida. LSU, your team is trash and you have to deal with that. Boy, if y'all don't show up to this Wednesday show. If y'all are not here for the Wednesday show, I don't know what you're doing.
I've got one. TCU. Bring that ass here. Bring that ass here.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
TCU. You had one job for most all of college football world, and you didn't do it. You took arguably one of the most controversial coaches in all of college football right now, and you propelled him to a victory in which a lot of people chose that he wouldn't win, ourselves included.
Yeah.
So first off, you made us look stupid.
Yeah.
You made a lot of people look stupid.
Yeah.
Did Georgia break your defense? I genuinely have questions.
Yes, we did that. Our bad.
I don't know what I saw. I did see what I saw, but I'm still baffled how it happened. But ultimately, TCU, your team is trash, and you have to deal with that. Are there any honorable mentions?
Jesus, you know honor. You know what? No, man. I done gave him too much already. Y'all have to show up for the Wednesday show. I'm telling you, if you're not here, I don't know what you're doing. Honestly.
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I feel like there's a special segment coming for this, and we'll have to make it do.
But before we close out, right? Before we close out, to everybody that's in the Georgia fan base, relax. Drink you some water. Have a deep breath. Take 2. Take 3.
What?
Just relax.
What?
You're doing too much.
What?
It's too much to panic.
What?
We're not panicking.
What?
We're on the race to the 3P, baby, and we on the way. Let's go. Ball State. I don't know where you are located. Do you know where Ball State is located?
I can find out.
Yeah, let's find this out.
Continue.
But we're on to Ball State, you know. Then after that, it's the South Carolina Gamecocks. They come into town. The season is just underway.
Here you go.
Where are they, Lil? Where are they?
Muncie, Indiana.
There's respectable athletes on both programs.
Fair enough. Keon, any final words that we put this UT Martin game to rest? Any things to put this game to rest with?
If you can't run the ball moving forward, and this just goes to anybody, if you can't run the ball moving forward, this is going to be a very tough season, especially if you also have a problem stopping the run. It's going to be big. But good game. I mean, hey, saw what we needed to see. Got some good reps. Glad Carson got the week 1 jitters out of the way. He's fresh. Give him time. He's going to cook.
Still wet behind the ears. Listen, guys, again, I got to go back to the fan base because it genuinely upsets me in this situation. And I'm not calling everybody out. I'm calling the people that know they fit this bill. You get mad at us all you want. You know who you are. You're not going to change. You're just not. Trust Kirby Smart, 1. 2, you're the reason, if the shoe fits, wear it, by the way. You're the reason Jake Fromm left after his junior year when he could have came back and raised his stock. Didn't want to be here, man. His parents couldn't even watch home games because you just despise, like, come on, we can do better. You can do better. Carson got the first start out of the way, threw for more than Tennessee, more than Alabama's quarterback. Listen, take it for what it's worth. It's the small things that add up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's the small things that add up. Just understand there were some struggles. It's a first start. You expect the first start to go for 500 yards. You're absolutely fucking crazy.
100%.
Absolutely crazy. Just gonna leave that there. It's insane to think that. There's gonna be some hiccups. He mentioned it after the game. He mentioned it in press reviews, pressers and stuff. What you need to see and what you need to understand is you need to watch him go through his progressions, understand the offense, command the offense, right? Protect the football, and go from there. You got the talent around you. All you got to do is I don't want to say manage the game because I do think you need to be I think you need to be that guy, right? I think you do. But again, it's a team game, right? It helps to have the talent that you do around you. But again, as long as you don't do the things to cost us the game, right? Don't fumble the football, don't throw picks. Obviously, it can happen, but I'm just saying, right? Just saying there, we'll be fine. But take a fucking chill pill, folks. If you're that upset and you're sitting there hating Bobo and hating Carson Beck and you want a quarterback change, guys, really? It's week one. It's week one. With
Just
a new,
relax.
yeah, take a chill pill, bro. Simple as that.
It's not
Keon,
as, yeah, man.
just gonna let them know, man. Obviously, if you're a Georgia fan and you're watching this show, drop a like, follow, subscribe because content is gonna keep flowing all season long. And then when you think it's the off season, we don't stop. We are a year-round podcast, year-round live show, right? If you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, make sure you like, follow, subscribe. If you're listening, leave us a review, 5 stars preferred, but we ain't gonna force you to do nothing, right? Just keep it there. But Keon, if you find this show and you're not a Georgia fan, let them know, fam.
Your team is trash. You got to deal with that. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. That's all we
Go
got for y'all,
Dogs.
folks. That's all
That's
we got
it.
for y'all. We'll
That's
catch
it.
y'all.
We signing off.
We signing off with that right there. We'll catch y'all next time.